Well, good morning, guys. Oh, my hair. Yeah, look at there. Having a bad hair day. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Northeast Arkansas. Not because the sun is shining. It ain't. But because it's warm. It's no longer horribly, horribly frigid. You know, there for a moment, and I know that the rest of you folks in the country, you probably felt the same thing, but there for a day, we went a 30-degree drop. And it was nuts. It was nuts. And like 19 in the wee hours of the morning. And my pipes almost froze up. Yeah. But we got after that thing. My heater had gone off in the pump house, and I got after that. So it's all good. It's all good. We got a lot to cover today. In fact, we got to give away our first mug today. I'm going to declare a winner today because the winner won last week. And I'm going to declare that winner here in just a moment. Appreciate all of you for chiming in there. Shiloh, my wife, and Buddy, and my mom. And look at there, look at there. I was going to go to my mom's for breakfast, you know, traditional breakfast today. Dad's got a doctor's appointment. Seems like they go from one doctor to another doctor to another. You got to go to Poplar Bluff. So I guess I won't get my traditional breakfast this morning. Pray for Mom and Dad that they're safe on their way to the VA. Okay, start off with jokes, right? Hi, Mindy. Thanks for watching. Here's a joke. And this is the runner-up, I'll be honest with you, this particular one, I got to fix that because I gave credit to the wrong person. I got these backwards. Let's see here. How do I do this? There it is. This first one is Margie, and I gave somebody else credit for it, and I should not have done that. I just was cutting and pasting. So Margie, this is runner-up. This was really, really good, and it almost had my attention to the point of being the winner this week. But the one that, well, I'll have to show it to you. But anyhow, this is Margie's, and I thought it was excellent. Sending out the world's first tweet. And, of course, that's Noah right there, you know, and I like that. Margie, good job. Very, very good. Somebody else. Hi there. Others folks chiming in there. Okay, but this is the one that won. And I probably should have gone with Margie because but this one, I don't know. I can't say I relate to it, but it struck me as being funny. This one is from Benita, and Benita sends one, and I suppose every wife has had a moment like this. And let's see if I can read it in the screen. Eve, yesterday we were fighting. Today you're giving me new boxers. I don't get it. And of course you read down there in the bottom left-hand corner that she's picked his new boxers from the poison ivy. That's so funny. From the poison ivy. Okay, so that's going to be our first submission into the funnies for this month. And so Benita, you're in the running. You never know. You could win the mug. But having said that, let us return to last week when y'all went to voting. Now, I had 2 of you vote after the 24-hour thing was up, so I didn't count them, but I just need you to know if you're going to vote and play the game, you got to get it in within the 24 hours. But, and I'll try to post a little thingy whoopus there that says, hey, okay, voting's over, you know, whatever. But anyhow, this is the one. That's good. See, he's got his little boxer shorts there made of poison ivy. Oh. Anyhow, that was good, Benita. And Benita, that's kind of my pet name for Benita. I hope that Terry doesn't get upset at that. But anyhow, there you go. Shiloh says, that's my friend. Yeah, she is. Well, maybe you guys can share a mug or something. Anyhow, that's Benita's thing. Well, we're going to award the mug. And I love you, Shiloh. I really do. But you didn't win the mug. Megan Weber. She's the one who put in that joke about the IRS, and it was really funny. I thought yours was hilarious, Shiloh, but anyhow, Megan won the mug, so keep trying down there south of the border. You can, by the way, the story that we're going to read today, you're going to totally relate to. But anyhow, this one here, this one goes, well, not this one, because I drank out of this one. Megan does not want to drink after me. Megan's one of our SBS students, School of Biblical Studies students, so I'll see her, God willing, on Wednesday. And Megan, I'll give you your mug on Wednesday, a mug with a hug. So there you go, guys. There's our very first mug winner. I've always wanted to mug somebody, and now I get to mug Megan. And I can't think of a sweeter person to mug. So there you go. All right, seemed like there's something else I needed to do before we moved on. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you this one. All right, now this isn't being posted by anybody. I just saw this on Facebook, and I thought of you folks. And this is my sentiment. I will be posting telepathically today. So if you think of something funny, that was me. So today, if you guys think anything funny and you get a giggle in your heart, think of me. You know what I'm saying? That would be so funny. All right, we got a busy month because we got to do several things here, okay? And one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to recognize that this is the month of Valentine's Day. See the heart that I made myself? And I even colored it. And it's Valentine's month. And perhaps you've been watching on Facebook, but I have been posting every morning. I have been posting a funny to kind of advertise Monday Morning Live and all that. What does Shiloh say? It's okay, I sent you a bunch, so just pick another one for the next month. I will, Shiloh. And by the way, I've got a whole list of them here from folks who've been sending them in. And so if you didn't win this one, what I do is I take a few of them and then I put the rest of them in the recycling bin and we'll use them the next time, okay? So Margie, keep sending yours in. You're doing great, okay? But anyhow, just keep sending them in there. And Shiloh says, I laugh every time I think of you. I laugh every time I think of you too, Shiloh. Anywho, here's the heart. Shiloh, quit. We got to get back to business. The heart. This is Valentine's month. And as you probably know, there's two of my favorite things happen in Valentine's month, the month of February. The most favorite is my birthday, the 28th. Write that down. Circle it on the calendar. My mailing address is P.O. Box 682. Oh, well, just ask me. I'm happy to get cash. Credit cards, that kind of thing. All of that's good. 28th of the month. But it's not really my most favorite thing to do during the February month. My most favorite thing to do is celebrate my wife. Because I love my wife. She's my best friend. And so I like to take February and think of Cindy and little romantic stuff. And so all those things that I'm posting, the funnies, they all come with a little hint on how you knucklehead men out there can think of how to be the romantic. Okay, so read my stuff so that you get a hint for that day on what you can do. I think today's hint is something like hide something under her pillow. Like, maybe a chocolate kiss or something like that. Now, don't leave it there very long. It could melt. But hide it under her pillow. But we need to do a funny. And today's funny, I thought it was really good. Hi, Karen. Good to see you down there in Louisiana. Today's funny that I posted, what was it? Never fall in love with a pastry chef. Never fall in love with a pastry chef. You know why? Because they'll desert you. Is that great? They'll desert, desert, not desert like leave you, but desert like, I thought that was funny. Anyhow, so there you go. So every week during February, we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day. And so be watching daily. Get those hints, you guys out there, and do something special for your wife. And go ahead and giggle with the funny, too, because that makes me happy. Oh, one last thing. Had a wonderful contributor suggest that, we need to get rid of some of these things because they're laying around the office. These are out of print. But I've got a dozen or more of these. They're called the Marriage Memo. And it just has a memo that you read every day. And it has some of these little hints on how you can keep the flame alive in your marriage and all that kind of thing. My dad said that he'd be happy to send these out. I got about a dozen. If anybody's interested in this, it's a freebie. All you got to do is give me your address. You might want to private message me so that the world doesn't have it. But give me your address. I only got about a dozen, so when I'm out, I'm out. But if you want one, here you go. The Marriage Memo. I don't know. It's that thick. It's got several of them in there. I don't remember how many, but there's a lot of stuff. See, you got little hints on what you're supposed to do. It's stuff that Cindy and I came up with years ago that helped us keep our marriage alive. We're doing pretty good. I mean, I think she still likes me. Buddy says, I love February too. My birthday too. There you go. The greatest men in the world were born in February. That's the way I look at it. Okay, now. Okay, Megan's getting the mug. Keep playing out there, folks. First one, Bonita. She's in the running now. What is there, 4 Mondays in February? I think there is. And so you got 4 chances. Well, you got 3 now because Bonita done won the first chance. And so come the end of February, we're going to select us another mugger. And so there you go. All right, here is your Make It Real challenge for the week. Ask before tasting. Ask before tasting. You say, what in the world? That's exactly what I would have said. But let me read the story. My book's falling apart. I've been too rough with it here in Mr. Ugly. I just kind of throw it up on the dash and all that kind of thing, and it's falling apart, so I had to put the little paper clips in there. Kind of sad, isn't it? But it doesn't matter. Nobody wants the book anyhow. Ask Shiloh. All right, here we go. This is going to be oh, I need to show you the picture. This book comes with pictures too, and this is Gabriel washing the dishes. Can you see that? Did I get that? There you go. Gabriel washing. Well, come on, Sonny. Washing the dishes. He used to love to play in the sink. He actually is a pretty good kid about washing the dishes now. I don't know where that came from, but he'll get in there and just wash them. I don't even ask him. How about that? All right, this one's about Gabriel when he was 2 years old, way back in 2006, it says. And it says, I don't like that sugar. Well, here's what. Yesterday, Gabriel returned from one of his wandering journeys through the house. He used to do that. He'd just go wandering. He's quite the kid. And anyway, he announced that he had eaten some sugar that he didn't like. Now, that, of course, brought a lot of concerns because, you see, there are no sugar bowls within his reach, and so the family immediately flew into action. Horrible visions of mouse poison or some other harmful substance ran through my head. Although we never leave such powder out where he could find it, accidents do happen. Trying to remain calm, I asked him to explain. I can't remember the story, but I'm pretty sure I got under the sink when I was a kid and I drank Clorox or something. That's probably what's wrong with me. Ask my mom. She could tell you that story. Anyhow, I just went, oh my, And so he didn't, this sugar, and he's 2 and he can't explain. I'm thinking, oh no. And I had horrible visions, what he might have had in him. And did I need to call the poison control people and all that? But anyhow. Buddy says, do you need to borrow a special book, one that has been signed by the author? See there, Buddy appreciates the book. And so, unlike Shiloh, he takes the book, he treasures it. He even went so far as to ask me to sign it. Now, I like people like Buddy. Buddy's my buddy. You see what I'm saying? I just don't know about people who store my book under the dirty laundry. Shiloh. And back to the story. So we got Gabriel coming in saying he doesn't like this yucky sugar, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, what kind of powder has the kid put in himself? Do we need to call poison control? Whatever. Have you ever tried to get a 2-year-old to give you an explanation while drawing a polka-dotted camel? He used to draw all kinds of crazy stuff. Eventually, I had to pull him away from the drawing table and employ some parental genius. Yeah, I can have genius, even though I drank Clorox as a kid. Gabriel, show me where you got the sugar. Here's the genius. Maybe Daddy can have some. You see, that's the genius part there. It's not show me where you got this. Because no kid wants to get up and stop drawing his camel. You got to give him more. Hey, maybe Daddy can have some. There's my buddy Earl. Good to see you. Okay. But anyhow, so that was my genius moment. There is one thing Gabriel loves better than polka-dotted camels, and that is sharing an adventure with his father. Okay, Dad, came his answer, and we were off for our adventure. Moments later, he led me out of the room, down the stairs, and across the dining room floor. There's the sugar, Daddy. Try some. Did I say sugar, Daddy? There's the sugar, Daddy. That was just me reading it. That wasn't in the funny part. But it was funny, right? Anyhow, there's the sugar, Daddy. See, commas are important. There's the sugar, Daddy. Try some. His little hand pointed to a round, multicolored container atop the dining room table. This is where Shiloh comes back in. You Louisiana people will love this. My buddy Jake and Debbie down there and all you people, you're going to love this. So he pointed to this multicolored container atop the dining room table. Can you guess what it is? The label read Tony Chachere's, which is a spicy concoction from southern Louisiana. And believe me, it's nasty sugar. It's good stuff. I mean, it seasons stuff that is supposed to be in, but you sure don't want to use it on your cereal. Although Gabriel insisted that I try some of his yucky sugar, I decided not to participate in that part of the adventure because I'm a smart daddy. I'm not just a sugar daddy, I'm a smart daddy. And that wasn't quite as funny. I did, however, enjoy a deep sigh of relief that my son hadn't gotten himself into something that could have killed him. After climbing back up the stairs, I pulled Gabriel in to me, and I said, look at Daddy. Look me in the eyes, son. Now, Gabriel really doesn't like hearing those instructions because he knows that something serious is about to follow. Often it's a spanking. Son, you must never eat or drink anything unless you ask mommy or daddy first. Do you understand? His little blonde head nodded as he shuffled his feet and kept his bottom a safe distance from my hand. I remember how he used to do that. He'd get his head up here close to me, but his rear end was way back here, so I couldn't reach it. Oh, parenting, one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. All right, so he shuffled his feet, distance from you all. You got all that. I love you, and I don't want anything to hurt you. The next time you want something to eat, you ask Daddy first. Okay, Daddy, came his quick response. Then he ran out the room. Life lesson. I didn't spank him, nor would I have in that situation, so don't send me the hate mail. This was not an act of disobedience. It was a mistake born of innocence. The discipline that he needed required instruction, not punishment. Not that punishment can't be instruction, but in this particular case, it wasn't like he was rebelling against me. While sitting there watching his little frame scamper out of my sight, I thought about our Heavenly Father and the horrible feelings he must have whenever we approach spiritual poison. You ever think about that? Can you imagine having to watch as your child draws closer and closer to that which could kill him? Can you imagine the frustration of knowing that you have thoroughly furnished him with all the necessary warnings, yet he still wants to taste the life-ending devil powder? In 1 Thessalonians 5:22, God instructs his children in this way. He says, avoid every kind of evil. Avoid it all. To do this, God has provided us with a love letter of instructions. He pulls us in close, cups our little face between his hands, and he says, look into my eyes now. I love you. I don't want anything to hurt you. The next time you want to eat something, you come and ask Daddy first, okay? It even applies to the Heavenly Father. In a world of sugar-coated devil treats, it's imperative that we pay attention to the words of the Father. It is imperative that we hear the warnings he has provided. Listen to the Father. Think of him holding you while you read his love letter. Let him feed you, and always avoid that which does not carry God's seal of approval. So there you go. Tony Chachere's. If you've ever tasted it just by itself, it can put a little spice in your kick. Kick in your spice? I don't remember how that's supposed to go, but it can do that to you. Devonna, hi there. Jason, good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, what do we do that? Oh, I gave you, I know what it is. I got to go back to my thing. Remember, I always give you 3 things to help you fulfill the whoopie-dooey here. What do you call it? The Make It Real Challenge of the week. All right, and they're all in the thing. Ask before tasting. Those are my 3 points. Number 1, you need to ask. You need to be somebody who seeks the advice of other folks. You need to obviously pray. You need to talk to God. Let's see if I can draw you something. Wouldn't that be funny? If I could draw you right here in front of you guys, I'm going to draw, okay? I teach the teenagers this all the time when I speak at youth rallies or something, and they're trying to make a difficult decision. I tell them what you need to do is write the word date on a piece of paper. It's kind of, some of the toughest decisions that teenagers make is, who should they date? So you can remember it that way. But this is the way you can make a decision in a biblical manner, in a godly manner. D-A-T-E. They all stand for something. D stands for deny yourself. The very first thing you've got to do is you've got to say, I am willing to take whatever God says. If you can't deny yourself, there's no sense doing the other 3 because God has to come first. And so the first thing you got to do is deny yourself and say honestly and sincerely to God, all right, I'm going to seek your approval or disapproval in this, but I need you to show me. So the first thing is agree to deny yourself. The second thing is then you need to launch into seeking advice. The wise man said that there's wisdom in many counselors. You need to get advice from everybody who matters in that particular situation. Ask them what do they think. Ask them if they have any wisdom as to how you would handle that if you decided to go that particular direction or whatever. Hi, Nancy. I love her so much. So you got deny, ask advice. T is for turning signal. You ever get behind a car and they got their left turning signal on and then they turn right? Does that bother you? God never does that. God's going to give you turning signals. And if he puts the left turning signal on, that means he wants you to go left. He's intending for you to see that. And so you need to look at various evidences that are happening around about you and watch what God's doing in your life and opportunities that he's giving you. And maybe even going back to the second one, people that just showed up all of a sudden that are worthy of giving you advice. Where did they come from? That's God's turning signal, okay? There's Kaylina. Kaylina, tell Megan she won the mug. Yeah, she won the mug. I'll give it to her Wednesday. All right, deny, ask advice, turning signal, and E is for expedient. This is a very important one. Expedient means to do the greatest amount of good in the shortest amount of time. I believe that we're living in the last days. If you don't believe that, join me on Fridays at 11 o'clock when we do Last Days Live, and I'll prove it to you. But anyhow, being that we're living in the last days, we got to do as much good as we possibly can in this short amount of time that we got. We've got to be expedient people. A lot of times you're faced with a decision between two things, and both of them are excellent, but which one is going to give you the greatest amount of good in the shortest amount of time? And so when you try to make a tough decision, deny yourself, ask advice, look for God's turning signal, and ask yourself, is it expedient? All right, that was my first one. So I'm giving you the 3 things on how to do this Make It Real challenge. The first one, you need to ask. The second one is before. Ask any Mapster, and they'll tell you my favorite word is initiative. I love initiative because initiative means you're not lazy. Initiative means that you're processing. It means that you're actually moving in a positive direction, that you're not just sitting around making everybody else take care of you. You're actually taking care of the business that's at hand of you. You've got an opportunity, you're getting after it. All right, I preached my sermon. My favorite word is initiative, but you need to understand that before there is initiative, there always needs to be caution and reason. Initiative minus caution and reason is just blind stupidity. And just saying, I think I'll just do whatever I want. You need to be cautious, and you need to think it through. God gave you a brain, use it. So the second thing with this Make It Real challenge, you need to ask, and you need to ask before. Before you launch into your initiative, have caution, have reason, and then tasting. Ask before tasting. The third thing here, remember that some tastes never go away. You ever have that happen? You put something in your mouth thinking it was going to be sweet, it's going to be good, and and it's like hours before it ever leaves your mouth. Some decisions that we make can't be undone. And so we've got to be people who, when we make that decision, we go through the process. We seek specifically God's advice, and sometimes he uses other people and other circumstances to bring his will to mind, but it's God's advice that we really want. And we seek it before, not after. We seek it before we initiate initiative. And then we launch into the tasting. Once it's been confirmed by God that this is something that you need, you launch into the tasting of it. I used to hate, what's it called? Shiloh just put up Hershey's Cocoa. Yeah, that's a good illustration. Yeah, Hershey's Cocoa by itself, just lick your finger, stick it in there. That's nasty stuff. That's a good. I don't know if that's where you were going with that, but if you think about it, but you mix it in, whatever. I don't know. I can't get into Shiloh's brain. Who knows what she's thinking? Let me go back to my illustration. My illustration was cottage cheese. I never liked cottage cheese at all. But now I put it on my salads and I put it in my whatever. I acquired the taste. What's my point? My point is that sometimes God is going to say to you, yes, this is something you need to taste, but you don't want to taste it. Those things need to be tasted as well. There are some things in life, directions in life you may not want to go, but you need to go those directions because God said to go those directions. There were many times that we had to put stuff on Gabriel's plate that wasn't sugar-coated, and he wasn't interested. But we made him eat it because he needed it to become a strong young man. And so that's the way it is with God as well. We need to always run things through him before we jump. But when he says, I need you to jump even into an area that maybe you're uncomfortable with, you need to jump. Well, there you go. Make it real. Ask before tasting, because you sure don't want to stick your finger in Tony Chachere's thinking you're getting sugar. Yeah. Sugar Daddy. Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it, buddy? Thank you, Sugar Daddy. Well, there you go, guys. The mug. You need the mug. To be cool, and And Shiloh, you were that close to being cool this month. I just don't know what to do about that. But anyhow, Bonita's in the running, and I'll go back and look through. Maybe Shiloh can be in the running too. I don't remember if you had any worthy jokes that you gave me in the past or not, but others of you have. And we'll keep this up, so keep the jokes coming, all right? There's Angie. I love Angie. Give Danny my love, Angie. And the girls and Kyle and everybody down there. Give them my love. All right. Do we cover it all? Oh, yeah. Don't forget this thing. If you want to get one, all you got to do is send me your address, and I'll have my dad mail you a copy of that thing. So there. Oh, remember, every morning, look for these things. You know, Gabriel, by the way, he drew up funny. He made me into a heart. I'm supposed to be the funny guy in the picture. So every morning, look for that on Facebook and Twitter. And what's the other thing? Instagram. I got them there too. There's Amber. Hi, Amber. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. I guess I got nothing to do. Can't go to Mom's for breakfast because they're on the road. But so what do? I know what you do. We didn't do prayer list. What am I thinking? Stop. Don't go nowhere. Prayers. We need to do this. As you know, Iliad is now laughing with Jesus, and we are so thrilled. But his family is very sad, as you can imagine, because he's no longer with them. They can't hold him, etc. And we need to be praying for Michael and his sweet wife and the family. Please remember Iliad's family. I just received this yesterday during Lord's Day Live. Luke, this individual is epilepsy and horrible migraine headaches. And we need to remember Luke. If you ever had a migraine, you know that's horrible. Now, I've never had a seizure or anything like that, but I've certainly administered help to a lot of folks who have, especially during church services and that kind of thing, and bless their hearts. That's hard. So remember Luke. Brenda, brain condition, as we've talked to you before, and she still, I read an update just today. They've got a thing going on Facebook. I discovered that, and I wasn't on top of it before. Forgive me for that. But she's doing well, but she's struggling with some anxiety and those kind of things. And so remember Brenda, please. Tina had a port put in because she's recovering from breast cancer. She has other issues. Linda, I think this is her 9th week of chemotherapy, or has 9 weeks left to go, I should say. Remember Linda. And Denise, we got 2 of them. One of the Denises in Louisiana wants us to pray for her grandchildren. The other Denise is up here in Arkansas and struggling with her leg and didn't get any satisfaction with the surgery last week. Please remember her and the pain that she has. If you have a prayer list, if you got a prayer request, send them to me. Again, I'm not going to list anything but a first name and a state if I know where they're from. And so this is where it leads me to my last one. I don't know where she is living present tense, but I had a childhood friend, Peggy. In fact, I used to be sweet on Peggy back in the day. And Peggy is struggling now with breast cancer as well. And I am praying for her. So please remember Peggy. Hold on, my buddy here, Dale says, hey, brother, it's not too late. Please remember my father, Joe Horn, in your prayers. Absolutely. All right, so there's another one. And we'll have him, Dale, I'll have him, God willing, next week on my prayer list. Dale. My buddy, his father, Joe, is evidently struggling with something. So let's remember Joe. There's Haley. You're kind to be with me. I love y'all. Sonny Childs, be there. Matthew 16:26.